Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. We are diving straight into today's essential stream, the buzz cutting across everything from high finance and AI fears to, well, real-world politics.
Yeah, it's really a snapshot today, isn't it? You've got this push for total transparency, seeing every trade, knowing where posts come from. But then, boom, you have this rise of massive unpredictability, AI that scares its makers, huge market bets. It's quite the mix.
Absolutely. That tension is really the theme today. So our mission, unpack the key posts, give you the context fast, and see what it all means. Let's kick off with high-stakes finance. Big moves happening. Okay, first post really sets that unpredictable tone. This is from @unusualwhales. Breaking. The unusual whale has begun to short Bitcoin again. It has deposited $40 million USDC to Hyperliquid and shorted another $127 million Bitcoin per YF.
Right, and this specific whale, address 0xB316, has a pretty terrifying track record, actually.
Yeah.
And just to grasp the scale here, they're using leverage. We're talking about their total 10x leverage Bitcoin shorts hitting nearly $500 million since Sunday.
Okay, hold on. Let's break that down real quick for everyone listening. What does 10x leveraged actually mean here?
It means they're borrowing money, essentially multiplying their bet by 10. So
Yeah.
if Bitcoin drops just 10%, they basically double their investment. Huge win.
But the flip side.
Exactly. If Bitcoin goes up by 10%, they get liquidated. Poof! Everything they put in is gone. It's an incredibly bold amount of risk, and they're doing it on Hyperliquid, that's a decentralized platform using USDC stablecoins.
And the confidence is the real story, isn't it? This is the same entity that timed a short just 30 minutes before that tariff announcement back on October 11th, 2025. They made, what, $192 million?
Yeah, a stunning $192 million. So their timing now, well, it makes people nervous. Historically, their moves have lined up almost perfectly with big swings in the market. The data shows their previous shorts often preceded Bitcoin price drops of like 12 to 18% over the next 3 weeks. They seem to be aiming for what are called liquidation cascades, basically trying to trigger panic selling by hitting key margin call levels. It's calculated risk, but it feels unpredictable from the outside.
Okay, so from that high-risk speculation, let's pivot. Let's talk institutional moves. De-risking, maybe. BlackRock signaling a big shift in traditional finance. This is from @WatcherGuru, Justy A. $13.4 trillion BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says they are developing their own technology for the tokenization of assets.
Right, and this is where that theme of transparency really comes into play. BlackRock, managing trillions, they're not just, offering crypto ETFs anymore. They're building their own technology, their own rails for asset tokenization.
So tokenization, that's taking real-world stuff like buildings or stocks and putting ownership on a blockchain.
Exactly. Representing ownership digitally.
Yeah.
Think real estate, stocks, bonds, all as digital tokens.
Why is this such a massive deal coming from Larry Fink? I mean, wasn't he pretty skeptical about crypto not that long ago?
He was, yeah. And that's why it's the ultimate stamp of approval, really. Fink's 2025 investor letter framed tokenization as fundamentally transformative. He talked about efficiency gains, slashing settlement times, cutting out middlemen, and crucially, boosting transparency in who owns what.
So when an institution with, $13.4 trillion under management says they're building the plumbing?
It means the digital asset future isn't some theory anymore. It's happening. It's being institutionalized.
Speaking of building your own systems, let's flip to the other end of the tech scale, democratizing AI. We're going from trillions of dollars to, under $50. This is from @UchenGUW. Andrej Karpathy released nanochat 8K lines of minimal code that do pre-train plus mid-train plus SFT plus RL plus inference plus ChatGPT-like WebUI. It trains a 560M LLM in 4 H'ers on 8 times 100. I trained and hosted it on hyperbolic GPUs, $48. First prompt reminded me how funny tiny LLMs are.
Yeah, the cost here is just, wow, $48. To train a functional, small but functional large language model, an LLM, this is huge for accessibility, right? It just blows the doors open for hobbyists, students, anyone, really. They can run the whole process, pre-training, fine-tuning, reinforcement learning.
That's the democratization angle, definitely, making the tech transparent, accessible. But what actually happened when they tested these tiny models?
Oh, it's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
The screenshot shared shows nanochat completely hallucinating. It misidentified its own creator, Andrej Karpathy, as, get this, a supermodel known for his modeling services.
A supermodel.
Seriously.
So yeah, it's a great reminder that cheap and accessible doesn't automatically mean reliable or accurate. You get the humor, maybe not the facts.
Okay, well, that humor kind of evaporates when you look at the bigger players.
Yeah.
Which brings us right back to the unpredictability of AI. The deep fear. This post from @ChatGPT21, Anthropic co-founder. I am deeply afraid. Make no mistake, what we are dealing with is a real and mysterious creature, not a simple and predictable machine. That quote's from an essay by Jack Clark, and it really gets to the heart of the anxiety around advanced AI. The fear is that transition point, when AI goes from just helping developers to becoming autonomous.
And what specific tech is pushing it towards being this mysterious creature?
Tools like Claude Code are a big part of it. This kind of tool lets the AI write, debug, and actually improve the code of future AIs all on its own.
Ah, okay. So it can improve itself.
Exactly. And the fear is that improvement cycle just accelerates beyond human understanding. That's the hard takeoff idea, intelligence exploding exponentially in ways we just can't predict or manage. It's a huge gap, isn't it, between the $48 funny bot calling someone a supermodel and this potentially uncontrollable, self-improving intelligence. That's the AI story right now.
Well, if the existential dread gets a bit much, there's always AI for fun, I guess. Elon Musk showed off Grok Imagine with this prompt. Just type "add a girlfriend" to any video on the new Grok Imagine.
Right, this is xAI's new tool, Grok Imagine version 0.9. It's all about showing how simple text prompts can make really complex, smooth changes to videos that already exist.
Yeah, I saw the demo. The quality was actually pretty striking.
It was startlingly good, wasn't it? The example they used had this plush banana character reading a book. Then, just with that simple text prompt, suddenly there's a companion banana next to it, sharing the moment. And it looked seamless. The lighting matched. Everything was synced perfectly.
Wild. Hyper-realistic changes from just a few words. Okay, let's shift gears. Platform mechanics, corporate stuff, that whole battle for transparency is playing out right here, too. Starting with X, proposing a new feature. Via at Wall Street Math. Breaking X to begin displaying what country an account is posting from. I like it.
Yeah, the plan is for internal testing to start next week. X says the goal is pretty direct. Fight foreign misinformation, tackle bots, especially around elections globally. It forces a bit more disclosure.
But disclosure like that, it's not always seen as a good thing, is it?
Yeah.
Especially thinking about security. What's the pushback?
Well, you've got strong support from people who really want to unmask, state-sponsored propaganda outfits trying to meddle in other countries' politics. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But then the opposition is just as strong. They're worried about anonymous users, think dissidents, activists, journalists, maybe in places with really strict speech laws, UK, Canada, elsewhere.
Right, if your location is automatically tagged.
It could put people in real danger. So that transparency suddenly becomes a massive liability. It's a really tricky balance.
Definitely a tough one. Okay, shifting to maybe more positive corporate news. Tesla seems to be leaning into this whole right to repair thing. At Tesla posted, "We believe it's important to give people the ability to fix things themselves if they prefer to do so. You can find service manuals for all of our cars, buy parts, access info on diagnostic tools, and more via link."
Yeah, this really doubles down on that consumer empowerment trend. Tesla is actively giving out free service manuals, parts info, diagnostic tool access, all stuff that lowers the barrier for owners to fix their own cars, which tends to build goodwill and trust in the community.
It definitely pushes back against that old auto industry model,
Right.
where everything's proprietary and you have to go to the expensive authorized dealer.
Exactly. And apparently this post was even triggered by someone noticing a small design detail, this wiper maintenance button that just lifts the wipers up so you can easily change the blades yourself.
Huh. A tiny thing.
Tiny thing, yeah. But it shows that people notice and appreciate when companies build in those little features that actually help with self-sufficiency.
All right, let's move into politics and maybe a bit of mindset. Platforms are obviously huge for driving political action, like this post from @ScottPressler, who's a big name in GOP mobilization. Today is the last day to register to vote in New Jersey. It's Charlie Kirk's birthday. Register to vote today.
A classic mobilization tactic. Urgent deadline, linking it to a well-known conservative figure's birthday to kind of boost engagement. The deadline was October 14th, 2025. And this was all about driving registration for the New Jersey governor's race on November 4th. That's Sherrill versus Ciattarelli. It really shows how platforms fuse that personal connection with, real-world deadlines to get people registered.
Okay, now let's head over to the West Coast. Another political figure using their background as a key message. This is via @Pedezi, listing points for a candidate named Austin Beutner. What a resume. List Austin Beutner's key points. Youngest partner at Blackstone, co-founded Evercore, helped rebuild Russia's economy after the Soviet collapse. Deputy mayor of LA, ran LA Times and San Diego Union Tribune. superintendent of LAUSD through a strike in COVID, now running for LA mayor.
Wow, yeah, that's quite a list. Austin Beutner is challenging the incumbent, Karen Bass, for the LA mayoral job in 2026. And that resume is clearly designed to scream competence. His whole campaign launch message was basically that LA is adrift, hitting hard on homelessness and housing costs under Bass.
But a resume like that, especially the international parts, usually draws some fire, right?
Oh, absolutely. That part about helping rebuild Russia's economy post-Soviet collapse, it's definitely raised eyebrows, especially concerning, potential links to the rise of oligarchs around that time. Plus, his departure as LAUSD superintendent back in 2021, that gives critics ammo to question how he handles really complex politically charged situations.
Always layers to these things. Okay, finally, let's zoom way out. A mindset post that maybe surprisingly has some science behind it. From @iterintellectus. If you have purpose, you live longer. If you are optimistic, you live longer. If you want to live longer, you need to be delusional and quest max.
Huh. Yeah, it sounds like typical kind of online motivational speak, maybe a bit edgy with the delusional part. But those first 2 points, purpose and optimism, they're actually backed up by solid peer-reviewed research. It shows how your psychology really can impact your physical health.
Seriously, purpose helps you live longer.
Yeah, there was a 2009 study, for instance, that found older adults who reported a higher sense of purpose had a 2.4 times lower risk of dying over the next 7 years compared to those with low purpose.
Wow, okay. And optimism. Is that just about, being happy?
Not quite just happiness. A big meta-analysis in 2022 linked high optimism to about a 14% reduction in dying from any cause. And importantly, they found this link held up even when they accounted for things like exercise, diet, smoking, the usual lifestyle factors.
So it's like a separate protective layer.
Seems like it. Psychological resilience acting as its own shield against, biological wear and tear. Pretty fascinating.
All right, let's wrap this deep dive looking upwards. An update from orbit going from the psychological to the astrophysical. SpaceX posted a schedule change. Due to unfavorable weather, now targeting Wednesday, October 15th for Falcon 9's launch of at Semper Citius SDA's second Tranche 1 data transport mission from Pad 4E in California.
And we can confirm that launch did go ahead successfully on October 15th from Vandenberg Space Force Base out in California. And this wasn't just any launch, it's pretty critical military infrastructure stuff.
Okay, so what exactly did they put up there? And how does this tie back into that unpredictability theme, maybe in geopolitics?
They deployed 8 optical communication satellites. This is for the Space Development Agency, the SDA. It's part of their Tranche 1 Transport Layer C mission. Basically, think of it as building out the proliferated warfighter space architecture.
Proliferated, meaning lots of smaller satellites instead of a few big ones.
Exactly. It's not one giant, expensive, high-value target. It's a big network, a mesh of lower orbiting satellites. The idea is resilience. It makes it much, much harder for adversaries to jam signals or take out the whole communication system. It provides enhanced, secure data relay for the U.S. military worldwide. It's really the future direction for military command and control in space. #outro.
And that wraps up our spin through today's information stream. Wow. We went from an individual betting $500 million against Bitcoin
to someone training a basic AI chatbot for less than $50.
and ended up with the rollout of next-gen military satellites. Quite the range.
Yeah, it really highlights how these totally different areas, huge finance plays, grassroots tech, political pushes, even health science, are all reflected, sometimes amplified, sometimes even driven by what's buzzing on these platforms.
So as you're scrolling through your own feeds, what's the takeaway? What should you be thinking about?
Well, we saw that constant tension today, right? On one hand, technology seems to be pushing for more transparency. Think blockchain transactions, maybe corporate accountability like with Tesla, even potentially knowing where online accounts are based. But at the exact same time, that same tech is fueling incredible unpredictability, whether it's AI that might outpace us or these massive leveraged financial bets that could blow up.
So the question to leave you with is this. Think about the systems you deal with every day. Finance, work, information, whatever.
How fast do you think tech is pushing them? Towards radical transparency where everything's visible? Or towards total, maybe even beautiful, chaos and unpredictability? Which way do you hope it goes?
Something to chew on until our next deep dive.